and welcome to Sundry Sports for Wednesday, June 17th. Today, we begin with the Dallas Cowboys newsletter. Cowboys news you don't want to miss. A positive test. Ezekiel Elliott's agent, Rocky Arsenault, confirmed reports that the star running back tested positive for COVID-19. The ultimate Cowboys fan experience. Join today. $20. United Globe Life. Cowboys United Globe Life. Full tank. The Cowboys lost a key pass rusher in free agency, but still have DeMarcus Lawrence, who is looking to return to Pro Bowl form. The question now is, who will play on the opposite side of him? Good question. Game Pass film session with Amari Cooper. Wide receiver Amari Cooper breaks down how he matches up against top cornerbacks in the league in this episode of Film Sessions by NFL Game Pass. So go find that if you're interested in that. Stay in the know on all things Dallas Cowboys. Visit DallasCowboys.com for more news and videos. And listen to 105.3 Fan if you're in Dallas. Continuing on with our usual Cowboys Wire, brought to you by USA Today. Dak Prescott's deal isn't done. Here's the latest with 1 month before deadline. We read that yesterday. Sports Wire. Follow your favorite teams and discover the biggest stories first on App Store and Google Play. News. Elliott feeling well but not happy. Cowboys wide receiver best trio in NFL? What? It was the usual kind of sleepy Monday the NFL fan endures every June, right up until news came down Dallas Cowboys players had been being diagnosed with coronavirus. So, Elliott feeling well but not happy. And Cowboys wide receiver best trio in NFL? Prescott and Romo steered Cowboys through a bad decade of defense. Yes, mostly Romo. Romo skipped on ESPN's NFCE All-Decade team littered with Cowboys. Assholes. The 2010 portion of the Dallas Cowboys' lauded history can be summed up in one word. Underwhelming. Fuck you. A roster usually filled with talent constantly underperformed. Blah, 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 blah. SiriusXM. Listen at home. 4 months for free. See offer details. Subscribe now. Ezekiel Elliott, not pleased agent had to confirm coronavirus test results. Yeah, it should be his business, but whatever. He's a professional athlete, so I guess nothing is your own business when you're a professional athlete. 2021 mock draft sends Cowboys replacements for Jarwin, Clinton, Dix. How many days in a row are they going to run some stories? Report Ezekiel Elliott, several Cowboys players test positive for COVID-19. A Blake Jarwin breakout could fuel Cowboys offense into stratosphere. Dallas Cowboys mask. Cowboys news. DeMarcus Lawrence working. Dorrance Armstrong's Facebook. Yep. All repeat stuff. Not all repeat stuff. I don't think. Yeah, that Elliott one wasn't repeat. Anyway, continuing on to. No, I don't want that yet. ESPN Daily. Good morning. If you're a Patriots fan, seeing Tom Brady in a Bucs jersey yesterday was probably pretty bad. I imagine it was similar to how my ex-high school boyfriend felt when he saw me wearing his teammate's jersey on senior night. I regret nothing. Okay, bitch. Here's your ESPN Daily. Listen up. Are you ready for a soccer marathon? The world's most popular sports league, the English Premier League, returns from its coronavirus shutdown today. If the calendar holds, there are 390 days from the Premier League's restart to the final of Euro 2020 in July of next year. That means players in England's top league will get a pair of 2-week rest periods between now and then. The 13-month run promises to challenge elite players both physically and mentally like they've never been challenged before. Who better to join the ESPN Daily podcast as we embark on the longest period of competitive action that the game has ever seen than an original member of Suboptimal Radio, Men in Blazers Roger Bennett. Roger joins host Mina Kimes to discuss a slew of topics ranging from Liverpool's remarkable season thus far in their quest to win their first league championship in 30 years, to the numerous health and safety protocols that have been put into place for the Premier League to return to action, as well as the Black Lives Matter demonstrations that are expected across the matches in England. And in this chaotic dash to finish the season, who will qualify for Champions League and Europa League? Is Sun Heung-min the greatest Korean soccer player ever, or just the greatest soccer player ever? There's a lot of ground to cover, but Raj came prepared. Things to care about. All eyes on Iowa. On May 20th, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds gave the green light for Iowa high schools to begin their summer baseball and softball seasons. They were cleared to return to practice on June 1st, and games could begin 2 weeks later. On May 28th, the governor's office dropped more news. 555 employees at Storm Lake's Tyson pork processing plant had tested positive for the coronavirus. According to the New York Times, Storm Lake, Iowa is currently the number 2 coronavirus hotspot in the country. Opening day for baseball and softball was Monday, and hundreds of games were played near cornfields and in suburbs. The scores are the least significant results. The success of Iowa's experiment ultimately will ride on what doesn't happen. If it works, it could help pave the way for football and other sports this fall across the country. The hopeful eyes of America's coaches, athletes, and school administrators will be watching Iowa this summer as it navigates the first sanctioned high school season during the coronavirus panic. NHL's pregnancy pause. The thing about athletes is that their jobs require a considerable amount of travel, so much so that life-altering events such as the decision to have a child are often made with that reality in mind. It's for this reason that many NHL players and their partners had meticulously planned for babies to arrive during the 2-month window dubbed the Life Event Safe Zone. But what they didn't and couldn't account for was the coronavirus pandemic that paused the NHL calendar and now has the NHL season restarting right when the aforementioned NHL babies are due. In addition to trying to ensure they're present for the birth of their children, players are facing the added anxiety of leaving the babies and mothers to play in the NHL's hub city bubbles. There's no way you're going to keep me in a hotel when I have a baby 15 minutes from me. I'll put on a mask. I'll test when I get back to the hotel. I'll do whatever you need me to do, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to see my child, Jordy Ben of the Vancouver Canucks explained. For Canadian players, there is a whole other set of complications due to the current rules on travel being enforced by the Canadian government. If they travel across the border, it is mandated that they quarantine for 14 days. There are so many unknowns, it's frustrating, but it's frustrating for everyone, Ben said. That sounds terrible. Things to watch. What, like it's hard or something? Jonathan Allen does not skip leg day, can confirm. In this video, the Redskins' defensive lineman is seen casually squatting 585 pounds for 5 reps. Damn. Light work. As a Washington fan, I could potentially be biased ever so slightly, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say our front 7 could be scary this year. You don't want, and I cannot stress this enough, no smoke. Okay, that must be a Redskins thing. Overheard. Kyrie needs to stop bullshitting. Sitting out without a cause or a purpose defeats the purpose, and then it also divides us. Matt Barnes on Kyrie Irving's stance on the NBA's return. Okay. Remember when? This one's for you, Boston sports fans. On this date in 2008, the Celtics... I know they say it's Celtics, right? The Celtics won their 17th NBA title, the first for the big three of Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, and ended the franchise's 22-year championship drought. The Celtics' 39-point win over the Lakers in Game 6 surpassed the NBA record for the biggest margin of victory in a championship clincher. After the game, KG famously shouted, "Anything is possible," to ESPN's Michelle Tafoya. Excuse me while I go run through a brick wall. Until next time, remember, today marks 26 years since O.J. Simpson's infamous car chase in L.A. Given that I spent the majority of last weekend rewatching O.J. Made in America as part of my quest to view the entire 30 for 30 library by the time quarantine is lifted, I can tell you that the 5-part documentary serves as a poignant reminder that the racial injustices that plagued our country in 1994 are the same ones we're still combating today. I highly recommend checking out the Oscar-winning series if you haven't already. This has been your ESPN Daily for Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. And you just always gotta pull it into the news, even though there wasn't any real news about that shit, was there today? Continuing on. Yahoo Sports, read and react. Brought to you by Yahoo Sports. At least 6 MLB owners don't want a 2020 season. Dale Earnhardt Jr. elected to NASCAR Hall of Fame. That's cool. Kyrie Irving proposes players start a new league. Nuggets coach Michael Malone. I got coronavirus and I kicked its butt. Good for you. That's what most people have done, honestly. The lead. I close my eyes only for a moment and the moment's gone. I close my eyes only for a moment and the moment's gone. By Jay Hart. Oh, there's more. Now, don't hang on. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. It slips away. And all your money won't another minute buy. Dust in the Wind. Dust in the Wind by Kansas. No shit. Ah, yes, nothing like a little dust in the wind to start your morning off right. What a depressing song. I love that song, but wholly appropriate for where baseball is headed right now. As this pandemic panic has lingered on, we've all found different ways to fill the time. Binging Netflix, cooking, Zoom, shedding the fear of missing out, and maybe forgetting about not watching baseball. A disgusted fan base, like baseball had in 1994 during the strike, is at least engaged with the sport. An indifferent one doesn't give a rip one way or the other, which is much worse. It feels like that's where we are right now. The season of one of the 3 biggest sports in America is on the line, and if we put a link about it up top of this newsletter, you don't click on it. We see the numbers every day, and it's clear. You just don't care, and understandably so, given how baseball's treated you, the fan, over the last few weeks. Whether this means baseball is in trouble is arbitrary, because where do you draw the line of trouble? In the immediate future, trouble is $10 billion versus $9 billion or something like that. No matter what happens or doesn't happen in 2020, baseball will still be popular. It isn't going to vanish in thin air. It is, however, walking on thin ice. My buddy Ditch watches 150 Indians games a year. He's one of those who records a game, avoids the result on his phone, and watches it later. Last night I asked him, "Do you miss baseball?" "Yes," he said. He went on to explain why for about 15 minutes, a rant that covered the Indians' potentially wasting a year of service from Francisco Lindor and something about how good Cleveland's farm system is. The kind of stuff only a diehard of diehards is thinking about right now, and probably not even many of them. And yet, he concluded, "I wish I could throw baseball in the trash." But wouldn't he miss it? Nope. I've really gotten into the Bundesliga. NFL podcast. What Zeke's COVID test means. Who should sign Cap? Nobody. Leander, how will sport venues be changed due to pandemic? Because even if somebody signs him, they're not going to be signing him as a first string because everybody has their first string already. And he's not going to be happy being second or third string. So he's just going to sit around and bitch still. It wouldn't go well at all. Paler. Lamar Jackson forced Madden 21 to change its game. Seriously. Okay. The kicker. Trick shot for Snowy. He wrote the arm, but who knew our buddy Jeff Passan had one of his own? That's from 100 feet, by the way, for a good cause. Boom, shakalaka. Thanks for reading today's issue of Read and React. Follow Yahoo Sports on social. And that's it for today. Thank you very much, and goodbye.